you that a teacher should have done some, okay, to graduate. Well, how many words in the English language? And Grace and Stephen are disqualified from answering. Oh, maybe I should find out if they still know. How many words in the English language? Have a guess. Okay, how many words? About 300,000. Okay, no idea. And that's a truthful language statement. How many words in the English language?
I'd say 150.
Oh, no, we need to go up from 300,000. I'm sorry, I should have given you that little bit of it. How many?
500,000.
500,000, he says. No, we need to go a little higher. What about you down there? 750,000. Okay, very good. Was that a guess? Or you remember it from somewhere? You don't remember. Well, in the English language, there's about 770,000. Now, if you take in all the words that we borrow from other languages, and English is great about borrowing words, and we add words to it. About 10 years ago, I was in France, meeting up with a friend of mine that I worked with in the Solomon Islands, and she said to me, she was telling me something, and she said, oh, I've got a senior moment. I had never heard the expression before. And I said to her, a senior moment? Oh, she said, yes, this is what in North America they say when you forget something. They call it a senior moment. Well, over on our side of the world, I'd never heard this thing. Webster Dictionary takes note of these things, and if they become common usage, they get added to the dictionary. And sure enough now, if you've got a good Webster Dictionary, you will find senior moment in it. Okay, which was not there 20 years ago. And what about computer language? Okay, it just keeps growing. And the university where I got my degrees from, they have a language department that does all these things about borrowed words and all the rest of it. And they say now in the English language we've got about 2.5 million words in our language. Now, what are you going to teach your ESL? You know, out of the 770,000. How do you define what you teach? Okay, it's a dilemma if you don't know a few skills about it. Well, our language in the English language department is, we break it up into 3 sections. How many words do you think that you use average? How many English words do you think you use? What's your vocabulary like? Okay.
About 2,000.
Sir, how many words do you think in a vocabulary? Any idea? No, you haven't sat and pondered about this, have you? And nobody's written it on the Facebook yet. Okay, he's not a young lady. How many words do you think an average American person has in their vocabulary?
I don't know. Average maybe.
Well, it's around about...
No, it's too.
Okay. It's about 2,500 to 3,000. That's what the general English-speaking person has in their vocabulary. And of course it depends if you're in a discipline of science and that, you have a few more words along there. If you're in the medical core, you'd have some more words there. But an average person has about 2,500 to 3,000 words out of the 770,000 words. Well, even breaking it down to 3,000 words that we use in the language, where do we start? And what we start with is a group of words that we call the prime frequency words. If you get any academic book on learning a language, learning the English language, and it's in other languages too, there's a group of words that are called prime frequency words. There are 110 of them. 110 words in this group, and they make up more than 50% of your language. Oh, we can teach English. So 110 words make up more than 50% of your everyday conversational English. And so what do we do as ESL teachers? We teach these words first. Now, we can't teach them in isolation. You must teach in sentence form. And when your students respond to them, expect them, encourage them to respond in sentence form, partial sentence form, a phrase or something. Never accept yes or no. Okay, don't do that with your class. Get them to reiterate the words that you have spoken in the question. So prime frequency words, very, very important. 50%. And if you want to do a little exercise to prove or disprove this, take yourself a Reader's Digest, a Newsweek, Time magazine, take a passage out, just open the book and say, I'll do this passage, and underline or circle every prime frequency words, and you will find in those books 50% or more. For us as Christians, we want to introduce the Bible. The Gospel of John is made up of 67% of prime frequency words. See why we need to teach these 110 words right at the beginning? The Gospel of John has 67% prime frequency words in it. And so you add the names of people in the Gospel of John, and you add the places that are in the Gospel of John. Do you think within a reasonable time people can read the Gospel of John? Yes, they can. And isn't that what we want? We want them to read the Word of God, come to a saving knowledge of faith. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing from the Word of God. So essential for any reading matter, these prime frequency words. And as I said, they need to be taught in sentence form. They do not make up sentences themselves. And so the vocabulary. We've got to add some vocab. We can't be talking about and the and what and they without some structure. So where of our 770,000 words are we going to get that? We're going to get them from a list that's called, it's either one or two words in academic books. It's either known as function words or structure words. Now, function words and structure words are 850 words. Included in it are our 110 prime frequency words. So do you think that 850 words is a lot to teach them in sentence form? No. Because these function words, if everybody in the world learned these 850 words, we could all speak to each other in English. 850 words. Now, if you're a scientist, you've got to learn another 150. If you're a medical person, you've got to learn another 150. In the different disciplines, because you know, if you're a chemist, you've got to know about words that we don't use every day. So if you're in a different discipline, learn another 150 words, and scientists around the world could speak in English together. And I've been privileged enough to be along this journey long enough to have gone to seminars where people have done these things and have reported back on them. Because these function words, these structure words, tell you everything you need to know. Tell you whether you're alive or dead, whether you're wet or cold, whether someone's beautiful or ugly, where you need to go, directions, everything. And so you need to teach prime frequency words and your function words. Now the rest of the words are what we call style words in academic English, style words. And they make up the rest of the 600 and something thousand words, style words. Now, you need to teach your ESL as they are progressing, style words, because if they want to read, most authors want to be stylish in their writing and write in style words. Now, an example between the difference between a function word and a style word with the same meaning. If, what's your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. If I said about Lindsay, she ascended the hill in 2 hours. What has she done? She's climbed a mountain in 2 hours. And, what's your name, sir? Bill. Bill. If I said Bill descended the mountain in 20 minutes, what has he done? And if I said that Mike has accelerated from 0 to 70 miles an hour in 10 seconds, what is happening with Mike?
Got a fast
And the
car.
car. He's got a fast car, yes, it's red. Okay, so they are style words. But if I were to say, Lindsay went up the hill in 2 hours, does our ESL understand what happened to her? Yes, they know that she climbed and it took that. If I said Bill came down in 20 minutes, would they understand that? And if I said Mike drives fast, would they understand it? Yes. They're the function words. They're the function words. The other words, ascend, descend and accelerate, are style words, and that's what you see in books. You know, Kevin, if you and I, we saw Mike go in there, we'd say he's going pretty fast. We wouldn't be talking about accelerating, we'd just be, Mike's going fast. Hope he makes the corner. Okay. And so we have these different groupings in the English language. And so, the first 6 weeks, it's all about teaching your prime frequency words and your function words. That's what it's about. Not worrying about reading, writing, anything like that, because you're wanting them to be speaking. You're wanting them to be able to say that Lindsay is going up the hill and that Bill will come down the hill and Mike will drive fast. Now, he's not a fast driver. In fact, I've never seen Mike drive, so I'm no expert on it. Okay, so I can't say one way or another. I've never seen him drive. I've never been with him in a car either. What's wrong with this relationship? Okay. Now, within the group of function words, there is a special group of words that you need to teach your students as soon as possible. This group of words is very, very important for people when they come into an English-speaking world. And they're called social sight words. Anybody got any idea what a social sight word might be? Yes?
The bathroom, restroom.
Yes. Exit, entrance, keep off the grass, danger. They're known as social sight. And if you have them in your community, your people need to be taught them as soon as possible for their own protection, and so that some gruff man doesn't come along and at 50 miles an hour say to them they're doing the wrong thing and they have no idea what they're doing. Okay? And nothing shuts an ESL student down more when he's being reprimanded and he has no idea what's happening to him. They shut down in language. And as I said, English isn't my first language, so I know what I'm talking about in these matters. Okay, so please consider in your curriculum